Shall I just say my name is Mary Armstrong?
Yeah.
My name is Mary Armstrong. I was born on the 1st of February 1923, and the lady who delivered me in Thorganby was Mrs. Kingsley.
She lived. Where did she live?
And she lived in the cottages that's near the Jefferson Arms.
Okay.
Mrs. Kingsley was the village midwife and brought all the children into the world. And I was at I lived at the White House with Grandma Lancaster and Grandad Lancaster.
And it's still there?
Hmm?
The White House is still there?
I think the White House is still there, but I'm not sure.
And that was next to the...
And that was next to what we used to call the village hall, and it was a little place where the men of the village used to go and play billiards.
And did they drink there as well?
No.
Just play billiards.
They just played billiards.
Okay. Right.
The White House was 2 bedrooms, just one up and one down. We didn't have any electric lights. We just used to have oil lamps.
Cooking?
And I've forgotten, to be honest, how Grandma cooked, but we used to have an open fire grange, and I think there was an oven attached to that, but I've forgotten what it was. We had an old-fashioned pump in the kitchen which used to pump the water, but I don't know where it came from.
And crickets, you say? Beetles?
Oh, yes. We had black beetles used to crawl up the wall, and crickets.
Grandad Lancaster was a shepherd.
Yeah. Grandad Lancaster was a shepherd for Mr. McNeil. And he worked there right until more, he didn't seem to retire. He seemed to be at work right until he passed away.
Because there was no social...
36. He passed away about 9... After he was there for the Jubilee, King George V Jubilee. He was alive for that. And I think he died about 1936.
Yeah. So there was no social security in those days.
Oh, no.
So he had to work, really.
Work, keep on working.
Yeah. And his garden?
Pardon?
His garden?
Oh, he loved his garden. He had lots of lovely sweet williams. There's a photograph somewhere, I'm sure that Debbie and them will have got it, of Marge Wright, Mrs. Wright that is now. She was Marjorie Buckle, and Grandad thought a lot about her, and she used to come and see him, and he took a photograph of him and Grandad with all the sweet williams. I don't know where that'll be now, though.
No. But you had all the vegetables he grew.
He grew all our vegetables.
And you had hens?
And we had hens and we had chickens, and so we all had plenty of eggs.
Yeah. And always had a pig?
Yes, every year he had a pig, and it was killed, and it kept us in food, you see.
Yeah. And who killed the pig?
Mr. Thompson.
And he did that for all the villagers?
For everybody, because lots of people had pigs.
Yeah. And what did you do when the pig was dead?
We just hung up in the kitchen.
And then
they cut it up when it was mellowed. It had to be cut. It had to hang up for so long. I don't know how long. But then it was cut into pieces, and you had it all. Oh, Grandma Lancaster was ever so good, bless her. She always made us do the things that was right, and every night we used to have to say our prayers before we went to bed.
And she sent you to church? And
she always made sure that I went to the Sunday school, and I went to the Methodist Sunday school until I left day school, and left Thorganby and went to work for, out in service.
Yeah. And she was a Salvation Army?
Yes, she was. Yes, well, she wasn't an officer, but she belonged to them up in Lancashire.
But she came and looked after Grandad.
That's
what was his name?
Pardon?
Lawrence, was he?
Yes, Lawrence Lancaster. And she was Frances Sophia Scottin before she married.
Right, okay.
Mrs. Nelson, who lived next door, was a very kind lady, and if ever I fell and started crying, she would come and pick me up and hug me and give me a kiss. And she used to sort of more or less love me, you know, and say, it'll soon be better.
And what did her husband do?
He was a farm labourer. He worked on the farm. I don't know whose farm.
Right.
Probably Mr. McNeil's.
Yeah. And did he have many children?
They had 3 children. No, 4. Sally, Gladys, Jack and Gertie. And Jack and Gertie are on that photograph.
Oh, right.
At the school.
School, okay.
Mr. Lowther had the village shop, which I don't know if it's still there now, but it was next door, next to the Methodist church, Methodist chapel, which I used to attend. But we used to go to Mr. Lowther for our sweets, get a pennyworth of humbugs and things like that.
Oh, right.